What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of my R&B review, and I just want to say that I appreciate a lot of people leaving me comments recently about all my recent vids and stuff like that, and it's just like, yeah, that's one thing I love about having YouTube and when I do reviews and things of that nature because I like to hear people's opinions about certain things. I like when people request me, but it comes to a point where if I don't if you guys request me to do an album, then I'll eventually review it. It's just that sometimes I might sometimes I might just be either busy or I might just have all the albums I picked out ahead of time. Other than that, I want to give a shout out to my dude Garfield Harrison. Um, I believe it was on one of my recent vids. Which one was it? We actually had a comment. It was on the Marvin Gaye "Hear My Dear" review. He was talking about music, and I was not mad at all. To be honest with you, I understand where you were coming from, and I just want to say that I don't hold no hard feelings. I respect your opinion and things of that nature, and you're a good dude, my dude. Other than that, I'm about to review tonight is Prince and the Revolution, 1999, released on 1982 on Warner Brothers Records. Um, okay, so I've been reviewing a lot of his albums lately. I just reviewed Controversy, Dirty Mind. I reviewed Purple Rain, I believe it was 2 months ago. I re-reviewed Sign of the Times last month. I reviewed Diamonds and Pearls, and I reviewed the Love Symbol album. So yeah, this might be my last Prince album I might review for a while though, because I have to re-listen to. I'm gonna listen to his second album. I'm going to re-listen to the Gold Experience, what I do have in my collection. I'm gonna re-listen to Parade, and I'm gonna try to get some more of his album if I see him in stores and things of that nature. All right, so let's take it back. Okay, so 1981, 1982, Prince was getting a lot of mainstream attention. He was just getting up there and things of that nature. And I think I've said in my description box where I said Controversy might be the best album Prince did before 1999. This album, this album put him up in the mainstream. Like he was up there like with Michael Jackson at the time, Lionel Richie. Like his videos were shown on MTV. And so, 1981, he, I think I told you he formed the time in 1981. I forgot to mention this, I believe, in the controversy video, but Morris Day was not an original member of the time. He was not the original lead singer. It was actually Alexander O'Neal. Yes, the same Alexander O'Neal who did the song "Fake," criticized. But from what I looked up, like him and Prince have some creative differences, and so of course he left and things of that nature, and he had like a successful solo career. Yeah, I need to get some of his albums though. I'm not really the biggest Alexander O'Neal fan, but he did have some heat back in like the mid '80s and things of that nature. So, and believe it or not, this is actually the first album where the Revolution was actually credited on the album, but it was actually in the inside booklet. And so, 1982, Prince. I mean, 1982. Prince was working on the Times' first album. What time is it? I believe that's the name of it. What time is it? Yo, and he put out a female trio called Vanity Six. Now on Vanity Six, the lead singer Vanity, like she and Prince, they were having like I think a relationship at that time, and those albums was released in the summertime. I need to check out some of the Time albums because I do like the Time, but I never really listened to an album fully, and I need to check out some of Morris Day's solo work too. And yeah, I need to check out both those albums. And so this was the time when like 1999 Little Red Corvette videos they were playing regularly on MTV, and he was like him and Michael Jackson, Lionel Richie were like one of the first African Americans to be played on MTV. All right, now it was also around this time when he was influenced by the movie Blade Runner because after synthesizing that sound in the movie, I believe Adrian Prince he had said that in an interview, and so it was this album that he came out with, and around this time when he was recording this album, Des Dickinson, him and Prince was also having problems around this time too, and he left after this album was released. From what I looked up, um, it was because he didn't like the direction Prince was going with his music, having like more sexually split lyrics. It's kind of like the same reason why I mentioned that keyboard singer when I talked about the Dirty Mind album left because the song Head. So yeah, okay. Now, for those of you who don't know, the personnel of this album include Prince on lead vocals and various instruments, Des Dickinson guitar solos backing vocals, Lisa Coleman co-lead vocals backing vocals, Jill Jones co-lead vocals backing vocals, Wendy backing vocals, Wendy Melvoin as I should say, and also Dr. Fink on keyboards, Bobby Z on drums, and Brown Mark on bass. Although they did not record on the album, they were not present in the album recording like that. They still did appear on tours and music videos. So they still do count. Now, okay, so let's get this over with. Track number one, 1999. I mean, do I even need to explain this song? It's a classic song, a funk song. I mean, one thing I've noticed about that song, I like the fact that Lisa, Jill, and Dez they sung the lead vocals, the intro, and the beginning, like when I said I was dreaming when I wrote this, forgive me if it goes astray, Life is in Party, like it kind of reminds me of when Stevie Wonder, like the song "You Are the Sunshine of My Life" from the Talking Book album, classic album by the way. And if you hear that song, "You Are the Sunshine of My Life," you will hear that three-part harmony between Stevie and the band members. The band I believe was called Wonder Love, I believe. But hold on, give me one minute, one quick second. Sorry about that. Okay, so yeah, and it's no secret that Stevie Wonder was an influence on Prince's music. Okay, and the song 1999 is talking about the apocalypse, kinda, but he's like talking about like the fear of a nuclear Armageddon and like problems with the Ronald Reagan administration and things of that nature. So I like the fact that it was like a party. It's a party song, but at the same time, it has like a political stance to it. That's what I loved about this song. Track number two. Oh, I forgot to mention the B side. How come you don't call me no more? Dope B side. That was actually a hit on Alicia Keys' songs in A minor. Dope album, by the way. I need to get my hands on that. And so yeah, I just thought I'd throw that out there. Then we have Little Red Corvette. Um, another classic song. I mean, Prince was talking about he comparing this girl whom he had a one night stand with to the Little Red Corvette. but at the same time, he's like he wants the girl to slow down and enjoy the experience, but also find a love that's gonna last. And I like the message to that song, and in a way, it kind of reminds me of that Earth, Wind, and Fire song "Reasons" after "That's the Way of the World" album, an album I do have in my collection. I need to review it. And so it kind of reminds me of that. And the reason why the reason why he calls it Little Red Corvette, or he named it after that, was because he got the idea for the song when Prince fell asleep on Lisa's one of Lisa's cars, like a Murata, and that's when the lyrics just came to him and things of that nature. Now this song was like Prince's first U.S. top 10 hit, and it was a crossover hit too in the rock audience. So yeah, Delirious is the next song. This song has like a Buddy Holly and a Crickets vibe to it. It's like a rockabilly kind of song, but it's a funky. It's still funk too, and it's talking about how he he's crazy about this one girl, but at the same time the listeners would have like some listeners going to be treated by some of the most erotic sexual metaphors you would ever hear on a Prince song. Yeah, Delirious, next dope song. Then we have Let's Pretend We're Married, which is actually a synthesizer heavy song right there. Very dope song, self-explanatory. DMSR, Dance Music Sex Romance, which was basically one of my favorite songs of this album. I mean, it's like a nice dance number too, very nice dance number. All right, Automatic is the next song. Now, Automatic is basically I kind of feel like Automatic is like it has the same vibe as Little Red Corvette in a way. That's the best way to for me to explain it. And while while I do like the song, it's like one of those other songs where it's actually over. It's like one of those many songs that's overshadowed by the music video because when the music video came out, it was a very controversial video because of the fact that it features Wendy and Jill as Dominatrix, and yeah, you guys will have to see the video for yourself. You guys have to see the video for yourself because that's all I'm gonna say. If I find the video, I'll post on the description link. But it's like a rare video. Something in the water does not compute. Very okay song. It's talking about an ode to like this lover that did him wrong, but he still. I like the fact he used like a lot of computer themes with this song, and the beat, like the instrumentation, reminds me of those old video game soundtracks from the '80s, like the first Legend of Zelda, Metroid, Super Mario Brothers. Like very. I like the fact that that's one thing about the '80s I love. Like the video game soundtracks in the '80s was very void, very dope. And that song, I like the instrumentation because it reminds me of those. Cause I love playing video games, like classic video games too. So yeah. Then we have Free, which is like a piano ballad expressing and patriotism, like how old to one country. Very okay song. The Lady Cab Driver. Now this is probably one of the most interesting songs off this album. Um, First of all, I'm just gonna say the keyboard solo was amazing on that. Prince laid down the keyboard. He laid down those keys on that board, and also it's kind of like how this lady cab driver was discussing like life's disappointments, But I think at the end of the song, I think she has sex with Prince if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I totally have to. That's totally like one of the most interesting songs off his album. All the critics love you in New York. Now that song is kind of grew on me in recent months. I mean, I love the fast-paced nature of that song. Synthesizers was on point on it too. And International Lover's the last song of this album. I kind of consider International Lover to be the sequel to Do Me Baby because the melodies, although not the same, it does have its similarities, and lyrics does have its similarities too. And it's talking about how he likes his girl and stuff like that, and like he's like the pilot and things of that nature. And it's another way of him metaphorically talking about sex while still having being simple at the same time. This song actually got him a Grammy nomination, but it was not released as a single, so that should tell you something. And that's all the time off his album. My opinion, arguably one of my top five favorite Prince albums of all time. Very amazing album. I mean, 1982, this album was just big in 1982. And this was like the really beginning of his superstar status. I mean, although Purple Rain was like his most successful, it was this album that really brought him out in the mainstream. I mean, I was watching this documentary the other day about Prince. It's called Prince in the 1980s. Dope documentary, by the way. And I think one journalist he said that he felt like this was really like Prince's very first truly realized album because like he liked the song how he kind of compared the previous albums to saying that kind of has an empty. The previous albums, the songs have like an emptiness into them. While I do kind of disagree with him, I can see what he was saying with that because I feel like the songs of this album was fully realized in a way. It has a sex song, it has this love song, it has this kind of like political track. I kind of felt like he was really when controversy came out, like that was a political album, but his still a sex had like the usual Prince style, but he kind of fully expanded his sound with this album. So Prince, 1999, must have in your collection, and that's all the time I have. I'm still got like a lot more views left, a lot more quests I gotta handle. Stay tuned for more. Peace.